and tried to get into the trunk of my car when I told him, when he asked me.
Okay,
Ever wonder how a traffic stop snowballs into a full-on courtroom debate? This one's got it all. Confusion, confrontation, and a defendant fighting for his car and his credibility. Let's get into it.
that's why you want to withdraw your plea?
I'm trying to get my vehicle back because I can't afford to give $3,000 to get my car back. My car shouldn't have been towed.
Hold on a second. Okay. So your car got impounded.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just ask you this. At the time that you were pulled over, you were by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So, there might have been something else here, but I'll just tell you what I can see based upon paper. The offense took place and specifically I'm addressing your statement that your vehicle shouldn't have been impounded, right? So, the offense or the stop, the date that you came into contact with.
Boom. There it is. The car is impounded. And suddenly, we're not just dealing with tags and insurance. We're dealing with stakes. $3,000 to get it back. For most people, that's not just an inconvenience. It's a financial knockout.
Target in McDonald's.
Gotcha. Okay, in that. Got it. And then, just looking for at about 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah, it was about 10.
Right. Well, I'm just looking at the ticket. I'm just saying what I can see. Okay, so that's on May 14th. When I'm looking at your driver's license, right?
Mm-hmm.
The information. Your license, you have an enhanced license that's valid.
Yes.
Problem is, well, I don't know if it's a problem or not. I have an issue date on that of June 18th of 2024.
Of like when they gave me the new license? Is that what you asking?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is this. I have that your license was issued June 18th of 2024. Now, my question is this. Your birthday's in March, right?
Yeah, March 10th.
Right. So let me just work it through here. Your original license that you received was on March 3rd of 2010.
Yes.
Right. So that license in 2010, if you get a 4-year license, so 14, 18, 22, and then it should have been 26, which means, well, it looks to me that the license prior to...
Now, pay attention here. This is classic courtroom logic gymnastics. The judge is doing DMV math in real time, breaking down the license timeline, like he's solving a murder mystery. Watch how a simple issue date becomes the key to unraveling the whole case.
That you got in June, there wasn't one.
So I went to the Secretary of State, and they told me that someone up there made an error in 2016.
In 2016?
Yeah. And then I ended up taking the driver's test twice. I don't know why someone up there made an error.
All right.
That's
in 2016 somebody made an error?
Yes, that's what they told me at the Secretary of State. That's why it showed up on his computer that there was 2 licenses, and he said that one was suspended. And
no sense. Where'd the second license go?
That's what he told me.
That there were 2?
Yes. He after he searched my car, and when I told him, he came back to the squad car, he said, "How do I get in the trunk of your car?" I told him, "You don't have probable cause for that or a warrant. I don't know why you need that." He went back and kept searching. Then he got in the car, And I just wasn't responding to him because he wasn't listening to me. And then he said, well, you have 2 driver's licenses and 1 suspended, so I'm towing your car.
Okay, so here's what. Hang on a second. I don't know anything about the search, and I get that you might be upset about that, but I'm not here to deal with that, right? He said you had 2.
Yes.
It indicates he had a state ID, expired state ID, and maybe that's what the confusion.
But it's like, what?
Hold on. The report indicates he had a state ID.
Correct. Expired at the time of the stop. And as we learned previously, you cannot have a driver's license and a state ID.
Right. So, okay, young man. When did you get the state ID? You know?
So I lost my wallet and that one was old. That's why I went to the Secretary of State to figure that out. Because I was confused. The moment he told my
why you went to the Secretary of State when? Right after this, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right after, because I was confused. I didn't know. And then on top of that, when he stopped me, it wasn't like he was even.
Officer claims there are 2 licenses, one of which is suspended on the judge. He's trying to keep this from spiraling into a full-blown constitutional rights debate. And we haven't even touched the trunk search yet.
Me for any of that. He told me, get out the car or I'm going to arrest you.
Okay, look, young man, if you want to be mad at the officer, you can be mad at the officer and you can do whatever. It doesn't get me anywhere today trying to deal with your motion to withdraw your plea.
Yeah.
Okay? So you can tell me all of that. That's not going to factor into anything I have to deal with. Understood?
Yeah.
So when did you get a state ID? Do you know?
Somebody made an error. I don't know. They just this is
okay. Let me ask you this then. You got your license, because I can see it from here, in 2010. You would have had to go back on your birthday in 2014 to renew your license, because it would have been a 4-year license, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had done that, that license should have been good to 2018. Okay, let me stop there for a minute. You're telling me that when you went to the Secretary of State, you're saying somebody said they made a mistake in 2016.
Yes. And this is the second time I've ever even been pulled over. I've never.
Right there, the judge lays it down. No matter how upset the defendant is, courtroom procedure doesn't bend for frustration. What matters is legal standing, not personal anger. And that's the harsh truth of the justice system.
Well, again, I don't, that doesn't help me.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
That's what they told me. They had to call HR, all types of stuff to try to figure it all out. And then I even had to take, I took a driver's test twice, and because they needed me to, because someone made an error up there. I got paperwork at home for 2 different.
yeah, but that doesn't, Mr. Siller, all you can see is that the only thing he had on him was a Michigan ID.
Well, it's officer indicated that when he ran the plate, he said there was an expired state ID.
When he ran
his name, and
when he ran his name.
right, and he came back with an expired state ID and not a license, not even a license. It's good news. He does now have a license.
No, right. And what I'm getting at is, do you know when you got that state ID?
I ended up getting robbed, and
No, I don't. I'm not.
I don't remember because I don't have it on me.
What about the one that I'm talking the one in May, the expired one that the officer saw?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have that one?
No.
Okay. So whether there was a mistake or not, I can't say. All I know is this, that, as Mr. Silly was alluding to, you can't have a state ID and a license at the same time. So whenever you may have done it, when you went to get, so you would have had about, if they said 2016, and I'm guessing here, but this may make sense. You, in 2016, at some point, you may have lost your license or something happened. You go to the Secretary of State because there would have been no reason for them to have contact with you from, if I just go by the beginning of your license, till 2018. But if they're telling you a mistake is made in 2016, fine. You probably need a photo ID, right? The quickest way for you to get a photo ID, or you could have gotten your license replaced, but somehow or another you get a Michigan ID. The moment you get that Michigan ID, your driver's license is canceled. And so now what you have is you have a Michigan ID, right? Which is why at whatever point prior to that time that occurred, it could have occurred between 18 and 22, or it could have occurred in that period from 14 to 18. And if they're telling you 16, that's, I bet you, when it occurred. And at some point, you're operating off of a Michigan ID. And then when the officer pulls you over, all you have is an expired ID. Likely when they went in, it really isn't two licenses that he saw, because I don't see another number attached to.
Yeah, so when he said that, I was like, that doesn't make no sense.
Well, it does, but it's not a license he's looking at. He's looking at what he sees are two forms of ID. He's seeing your Michigan ID when he's running it. He's seeing your Michigan ID and he's seeing a license. You can't have both.
Okay.
And so if that's what the officer saw, I can understand his suspicion then, because you shouldn't be able, you can't have two. Whether somebody made a mistake or not, it's the Secretary of State, I don't know. I'm just saying you can't have both. So then after this stop occurs, you go to the Secretary of State. They're going to make you, you're over 18, so they're going to make you basically start again, because at some point, that's why you took the driver test course, because at some point, your license lapsed for an excessive period of time. Okay. And that's going to be the period at which, whenever it was, that you had the Michigan ID. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. That's why you become the focal point. Now, it makes sense with what, it may not make sense to you when you're there, and you may think the officer's not telling you something, but I can understand it now, because you have two forms of ID. And the only one he finds on you, or that you have, is the expired Michigan ID. But you had said you lost your wallet, or somebody took your wallet, so you don't even have your new Michigan ID on you.
They just gave me a new one now, though. But
what?
They just gave me a new one now.
Wait, in June?
I got it in my.
No, but that's different. Okay, I'm having to deal with this way too much in my life. That's different than what the officer had you with. The expired one, what he had you with was an expired Michigan ID. That's different than having a driver's license. That may be that I don't know why you're there in 16, but if something happened to your driver's license in 2016, you go to the Secretary of State. What you want is your license back. And when they're telling you somebody made a mistake, I can't say it's happened. Whatever happens, you get a Michigan ID. That cancels your driver's license.
Okay, I understand that.
You following me?
I'm following.
And then as you're just kind of moving along, living your life, doing whatever, at some point, and just looking at it from the Secretary of State side, your license, you just lapsed. It's like you went in and said, I don't want my license, give me a state ID, is how they're going to see it, regardless of what happened when you were down there at the Secretary of State. And then that period in time lasted so long that then after this happens, you go back in, you got to basically start again. Make sense? I mean, that make you happy?
Oh, no, that does. No, I understand now.
And maybe so that you can sort of understand from the officer's perspective, okay, because you were bringing this up, and maybe it chill you out a little bit. The officer, when they run you, I now get two things. You don't have anything on you except an expired one, right? But I now get two things that come back on you. The only thing you can show, I don't want to say it, I'm trying to make it really clear because I think this is what happened when he told you had two. If I'm the officer, I'm not sure that you ever got a driver's license. Okay, and I'm guessing a little bit, but it makes sense. Because I see two things come up, right? And the numbers are going to be similar, but I see two things come up. And the only thing I've got on you physically is an expired ID, which then leads me to the conclusion that you didn't have a driver's license. But for whatever reason, a driver's license is coming back, but that driver's license is gone. Yeah. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, at that point, and I'm going to tell you, even if it were me on the road and I stop you and all of that comes back to me, I'm suspicious of you at that point because those things shouldn't be happening. Right? And it would have almost been, and this sounds crazy, but sometimes life's